Jericho. You've probably heard the name. And when you do, you probably think of a story with trumpets and walls tumbling down. But that's just one tiny piece of a story that's over 11,000 years old. In this explainer, we're going to dig deep into the layers of Jericho to uncover a history that is way more ancient and honestly more astonishing than you can probably imagine. So here it is today, tucked away in the Jordan Valley. For thousands and thousands of years, natural springs have made this spot a total oasis, a magnet for people to come and settle down. It even earned the biblical nickname, the City of Palm Trees. But the real story, the ancient story of Jericho, isn't what you see right here. Nope, it's actually hidden right underneath all of this. The first permanent settlement here, it dates all the way back to 9,000 BCE. That's 11,000 years ago. Just let that sink in for a second. People were building a community right here thousands of years before the first pyramids in Egypt were even a thought, and way before anyone had even invented pottery. It's a pretty mind-boggling question, right? How on earth does a single place stay lived in for that long? And how do we even know? Well, the clues aren't in the city you see today, but in what's buried just beneath it. This is Tel es-Sultan, the ancient heart of Jericho. Now, it might just look like a big hill, but it's not natural at all. It's actually a man-made mound, a kind of time capsule that holds the stories of more than 20 different civilizations, each one built directly on top of the ruins of the last. And this is the key to everything, this idea of a tell. Seriously, think of it like a giant layer cake of history. Each layer of mud brick, stone, and old debris represents a totally different era, a different city. So by digging down, archaeologists can literally travel back in time. All right, so let's travel back to one of the very earliest layers and uncover one of the most incredible discoveries, something that was truly a world first. Okay, so picture this. We're way back in the Neolithic era, the New Stone Age. Humanity is just starting to switch from hunting and gathering to actually farming. This specific time is called the pre-pottery Neolithic A. These are some of the world's very first farmers, living in these small, round mud brick houses. And yet, this brand new society got organized and built something on a scale nobody had ever seen before. They built a massive stone wall all the way around their little settlement. I mean, the sheer scale of this project, for a town of maybe only a few hundred people, tells us they had a pretty complex social structure, with leaders who could command a huge workforce. But the really wild part is what they built inside that wall. This is the Tower of Jericho. At 28 feet high, it's basically the oldest skyscraper in the world. Its purpose is still a huge debate. Was it for defense against floods, or maybe some kind of ceremonial site? Whatever its function, its very existence just completely rewrites our understanding of these early human societies. It shows a level of community planning and cooperation that, frankly, scholars just didn't think was possible for people this early on. But hey, the tower? That's just the beginning. We dig down into the next major layer of Jericho's history, and we find something far more personal, and maybe just a little bit unsettling. So a few centuries go by, and you can see society is really changing. This next phase, the pre-pottery Neolithic B, is a pretty big step up. Houses are now rectangular instead of round, they're growing a wider range of plants, and they might have even started domesticating sheep. And as their daily lives got more complex, so did their spiritual lives. And that's when archaeologists dug up one of the most remarkable finds ever, anywhere in the ancient Near East. A whole collection of human skulls, and every single one had been carefully modified. Their faces were literally recreated in plaster, with little shells placed in their eye sockets. These aren't just artifacts, they're portraits of real people who lived 9,000 years ago. It's believed that families kept these skulls in their homes as a kind of ancestor worship, a way to keep the memory and presence of their loved ones alive, while their bodies were buried somewhere else. It is such an intimate and powerful look into the spiritual world of our Stone Age ancestors. After the Neolithic period, Jericho was lived in, destroyed, and rebuilt for thousands of years. So let's jump forward quite a bit. We find a very different Jericho. It's no longer a small farming village, but a major city-state in a world of rising empires. This is the Jericho of the Middle Bronze Age, a powerful Canaanite city protected by these massive earthen ramparts and walls. This was its golden age, you could say, a bustling hub of trade and power. And it's these mighty walls that are at the center of that famous story from the book of Joshua, the one where the invading Israelites march around the city for 7 days until their trumpets bring the whole thing crashing down. Now, while the story is iconic, archaeology tells a bit of a different tale. Most scholars agree that the evidence on the ground doesn't really align with a biblical account for that specific time period. It's now thought the story might be a kind of powerful folk memory, combining recollections of the city's many real destructions over the millennia into one epic story. Even after the Bronze Age collapse, Jericho's story was far from over. I mean, its perfect location and those life-giving springs ensured it would be rebuilt time and time again. During the Hasmonean and Herodian periods, Jericho became this fashionable winter resort for the aristocracy from Jerusalem. Rulers like Herod the Great built these incredibly luxurious palaces here, complete with aqueducts, pools, and amazing gardens, all to take advantage of the warm climate. And that legacy of importance has continued all the way up to the present day. After changing hands through countless empires, Jericho came under the administration of the Palestinian Authority in 1994. And then, in 2023, its ancient heart, es-Sultan, was finally recognized for what it is, a priceless treasure of human history, inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. From the world's first tower to the faces of our Stone Age ancestors, from the palaces of kings to the inspiration for epic tales, Jericho is so much more than just an ancient city. It's a testament to human resilience, to our creativity, and our enduring need to just build a home. Each layer of that mound holds a story, and it really makes you wonder, what will the next layer reveal?